Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we are back working on the Sweet Heart Roadster. Now that we got pretty much all the major panels on the side of the car done, we are back to the wheel well area, and this is an area that needs a bit of work. The whole bottom, I don't know, 3 to 6 inches is all rotted out, and in the corners it's rotten, so we need to address that. But the biggest thing we're going to do is cut out the actual wheel well area and make something custom for that's going to replace the kind of rusty pitted metal that's all over the wheel wells, give it a custom touch, and obviously we'll clean everything up. So I'm going to work on getting the wheel off on this side, checking out what the damage is, and then we can start patterning out for a new wheel well.
Yeah, it would be smart actually.
Give me 3/8.
Yep.
Socket.
Yep.
A little tight.
That'll mount it on that too.
Oh, really?
Or it was the pad thing.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It just looked like a pedal pad.
All right.
It's like a footrest, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about putting one of those like a moon pedal or something.
Like you were gonna do in the 34 originally.
Yeah. Alright, so I got my panel all cut and everything's looking pretty good. I took the DA sander to it and snips and everything and trimmed it up so that we should have something that should fit in here pretty good. So I got to pretty much cut the shape. There's a little trimming that might need to happen, but I have basically the outside shape where it needs to be. So I'm going to get this thing clamped in place, then we're going to lay out where we're going to have our beads and our areas that we're going to put our design, but also for strength into this panel. So get this clamped in, and we can find the center line on the axle, and we can kind of work off of that from there. Yeah, so like when I'm like this, you won't really have to worry about much, but when I get it like way over here, I'll just need you to support the weight and like
Kinda
I'll spin it
feed it.
around. What's that?
Kind of feed it in.
Just I'll spin and do everything. You just have to kind of keep it.
Seems like a lot of pressure.
What's that?
Seems like a lot of pressure.
I got the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? So when it comes to you, you need to support it. Does it look like it's pressing the bead down?
Yeah.
So grab that like right here, yep, and just hold, keep the pressure up. And then I'm going to start turning towards you, and I'm turning this corner. And then I'll be turning that corner again.
What?
Should fall in. There it goes. 1,
Nerve wracking?
3, 4. It's a pretty difficult panel because you got all this corners going on. You got to pull up and spin, and
Did I do okay?
no, you did great. That's all I need is just light pressure or to hold the weight. Now look. Cool? Sure.
It looks like part of a lung.
Part of a lung?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a
Yeah,
liver.
that works too. All right. So we'll do the same thing. We'll start down here. Oh. Let's do maybe here-ish. One, two, three, 4.
What did they do before? Like,
Well, they've had bead rollers around for.
they had electrical ones?
No, you had to hand crank it. It's the hardest part,
Corners?
especially this corner.
Because it's a 90-degree.
Well, they're all 90s, they're all the same. It's just you're coming into like a perfectly straight area. Like all the other stuff has curves, so if you mess up or you get a little off, you can kind of like naturally make it go back on its. It's gonna hit that line. Ah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Looks good.
Yeah, that's cool. Beautybomb.com.
No.
You did a good job.
Didn't do anything.
It was probably the gloves. You're wearing my gloves. Gives you the touch.
I'm just light-handed.
I know, you did a very good job. Now you might be my official bead roller helper forever.
Okay.
All right, so got the panel rolled with the help of Kate and fit this in here, and I am pretty psyched on how that is looking. So what I need to do now is get everything kind of clamped in place, stand back, stare at it a bunch, make sure I like how everything is. I think I'm gonna probably sleep on it for the night just to make sure that I like it in the morning. Who knows, I didn't even step back yet. I may hate it. I may hate it here in a few seconds, I don't know. Here we go. That's there. Kind of sits the way I have it set up. It kind of sits on the frame there. And it'll need a little bit of tweaking along the edges just to get everything to kind of sit tight. I don't have it fully clamped yet, but it's gonna kind of come in like that. Just want to be careful with our clamping now that we have our beads rolled. If we get too crazy with our clamping, it's going to put some dents in the panel, which we don't want. So, especially right here in the center, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Psyched on that. So now that I got this all set up, I'm gonna let it actually sit overnight. Like I mentioned, a lot of times when I do custom panels like this that isn't like we're doing mimicking the factory, I'll make a panel like this and mock it up, leave it clamped, sleep on it for the night, take some photos, look at it, you know, while I'm sitting on the couch taking a rest, and in the morning hopefully I love it as much as I do right now. And if we do, we will scribe all the way around this, cut it out, fit it in, butt weld it in, and we will have a wheel well pretty soon. But yeah, so really psyched how that's coming out. All right, so I just quickly went through with the little mini sander there, surface prep tool, with a flap disc lightly to knock down any of the highs in the weld, and then I actually took a larger sanding disc than what I needed or what the backing pad has, and I actually kind of pushed it into the corner and let it conform to the corner in here, and it kind of blended everything in. It looks pretty good. I really didn't do hardly any hammer and dolly work on this as of yet, because we have a lot of strength in this panel with having the roll here has some strength. There's a bead here, and also we have all our bead work here. So the panel didn't really distort that much, which helped me out big time, because the metal that was in throughout a lot of this was a little thin because it did have some pitting and stuff in it. So it was a bit difficult to weld, and if we had just a big flat panel that was out in the open, it probably would have really moved around on me and would have taken a lot of finish work. But this finished out pretty good. I didn't go crazy taking little tiny pits out of the adjacent to the weld, but I think it looks really good. So what I need to attack next is these little areas in the corners here. Any of these patch panels, if you're making your own patch panel or you're buying patch panels aftermarket, this little area in here isn't something that's A, easy to make in one piece with your wheel wells, or B, the patch panels do not come with those. You guys may remember when I was working on Aaron's Roadster, I had to do the same thing on his, even though we were using like replacement Brookville or one of those patch panels. So my custom application is no different. So I'm going to make some patches that are going to go in here. That's going to tie this quarter panel in place, which will be really nice because it'll tie the wheel well. My patch I welded in here in. We could spot weld this to the sub rails. We could spot weld it back here to the sub rails, and then I got to fix just a little tiny portion back here at the back corner, and then we should be doing pretty good. We'll have the wheel well basically done and almost the whole side of the car. So I'm going to work on getting the big giant hole fixed first, and then we'll work on that little spot in the back next and be all set. All right, so got the wheel all mounted back up on, and everything looks really cool. I got some shots that will drop in here that I got with the wheel with the wheel off the car, and it looks awesome. It looks super cool. It's kind of a shame to actually cover it up We saw in the last couple shots I was doing just the stitch welds to attach the wheel well to the sub rails, the vertical brace in the trunk lid, and then also in the back here to the sub rails in the back, and everything's looking really good. And now the car super solid on this side of the car, which is really exciting. It's never been this solid since I've owned this car. When I bought this thing, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe longer, can't remember. But the whole time I owned this thing, this rear quarter has just been a floppy mess. And now finally, it's all really solid, and it's just awesome to get this far. So I have to give a shout out to Dave Martinez Industries. If you're on Instagram, definitely give him a follow. He is a very talented fabricator and upholstery guy, and he recently posted a photo of some wheel wells he was laying out for a customer car. And I messaged him, we message all the time, and I was like, hey man, I love those wheel wells. Do you think if I could, kind of steal the idea a little bit? He was cool about it, said, yeah, go ahead, man. So thank you for that. I get inspiration from, the old photos and also some of the great work guys are doing on Instagram. But what I plan to do that might be a little different than him is that this car is getting like a mid-50s or late 50s like show rod vibe. And I'm going to be getting, when the car is further along obviously or done, we're going to be putting like upholstered panels in these recesses. So that's why I thought they would be perfect. By having those recesses, they will kind of sit in and be almost flush. And then the areas that are raised on this panel will actually be body color, and it'll kind of pop really nicely if we have like white panels and have the paint around it. So really cool. I'm really happy with how this is coming out. And the only thing I have to do is I have to do a little bit of tune-up work in the front, or a little bit more of repair work that we didn't realize. The metal was a little thin in there, and once we started hammering and dollying and sanding, I noticed some pinholes that opened up above where I fixed inside this inner lip here in the front. So I need to fix that off camera sometime. Then in this back corner, I was going to fix this for this video, but we need to do this rear corner. This whole rear corner section needs to be repaired. And this little sliver that's in here that is rotted out, really the best thing to do is repair it while I'm doing this rear corner. So I held off for this video, even though it's bothering me a little bit not to have it like done right in there. But we will get that repaired in a different video. We'll work on that and keep working around the back of the car. These rear corners are a little bit of a mess, but really the biggest thing is I don't have a trunk lid for this. I haven't had a good luck finding a really nice trunk lid. So I'm just gonna make a trunk lid like we did with the doors. It's good fun. I've made a couple of these trunk lids before, but it's always good to challenge myself and do another one of these. So we'll be doing that and getting the back half of the car in shape and keep working around, and hopefully when it gets a little warmer out, we can spin this thing around, which would be really awesome. I know I mentioned it a million times, but I'm probably gonna be taking a short little break for at least a couple weeks on this car, 2-3 weeks, until it's a little warmer out, because I want to jump back on the stroll car and really start hitting that hard again. We made some great progress on this car. Now it's time to move back to the stroll car, get that body inside the shop here and start working on that thing. And then we'll be doing some rearranging here in the shop once the doors are open and cars are moved around. So it's gonna be really fun. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of the new wheel well. Do you like the new design? Thanks guys. Catch you later.